illegal ham in the face. But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face. I am Jared Fatty Bates. He is Big Bry with a Coors Light. Nice. Little silver bullet action tonight, bud.
I got those, and I got one left of this Great Lakes Easy Bucket Blonde Ale. So they're good. Those are the Cavs, ode to the Cavs. So I was gonna actually, the better deal was these 16-ounce Coors Light, 12-pack maybe, something like that. But it had Ohio State stuff all over it. So can't go that. I did make the mistake and do that one other time, but I just poured it into a glass. But yeah, I can't do that. But I'm sure we'll get into the Buckeyes.
We will. We're doing a strip down show today because we got a lot to talk about because we missed last week, and I apologize for that. Me and my family were all of us were under the weather. Was not feeling good, but I want to wish everybody. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody had a Happy New Year. Brian, we sorted. Well, New Year's Eve was kind of interesting, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. But tonight, no trivia. No Fat Boy Tuesday.
Oh,
no.
I got trivia for you. I thought you needed trivia, so I got some.
No, we'll do it next week, bud.
We'll do it next week. Okay.
We got too much stuff to talk about, so we got like a lot of stuff, and I know we're going to be long-winded on a lot of it because, it's getting dicey here in Cleveland. But tonight for our shows, we are talking Browns tonight. All the news that's come down and, go over a couple of the games that we've kind of missed on. We will talk Buckeyes a little bit. But, Bri, we did get a text message today. And I don't know if you actually saw the video of that text message.
No, I forgot to, but I saw that he sent it.
We do have to announce we have a 2-time champion now of the Legal Hand to the Face Fantasy Football League. And I tried to get him on tonight, but he's got too much stuff going on with the family. But he wanted to shout out Sheets and the made-to-order jalapeno poppers.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what the video was about?
No. The video was about me saying to Chris that I need him to beat Phillips because I do not need to have Phillips hold that belt.
Two-time champ. I didn't realize.
And now you'll love the video when you see it because it's like a WWE promo. And it was good. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
I should put it up on here because it had, something. I might even put it up on here because we're going to have fun with it. Let me see if I can pull it up and get it up on here. But yes, Portage County Prostitutes beat Runner. This is Chris's third year in a row.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Runner. And Portage County Prostitutes, Phillips said, special shout out to Sheets and jalapeno cheddar bombs. And he also said for his fantasy football team, he wants to thank Puka Nakua and Christian McCaffrey for all their hard work this year.
Yep, it's a stacked team. Kudos to him. I forgot that he won one already. I've been giving him crap all year about not finishing the job, but 2-time champ, that's nothing to scoff at.
Let me see. Okay, stored in media. I'll pull it up here in a little bit, but we do have the news that we got going on here in Cleveland. We'll get into the Buckeyes first before we get into the Browns because the Browns is going to take us a little bit, Bri. It's going to take us a little bit to get into the Browns. But Ohio State did lose to Miami. And I'll tell you what, Bri, I was starting to get pissed off at Ohio State, but then I realized who was calling plays, and it wasn't Brian Hartline. So I couldn't get pissed off anymore because this is the normal shit with Ryan Day and calling plays because he forgets that he has fucking running backs on his team and he doesn't like to use them. So, and plus, it doesn't help that Miami came out with their hair on fire. And I'll tell you what, those defensive ends and tackles for Miami, shit, that Bain, I would love to see Bain right next to our big boy from Michigan.
He's a real deal. No, I think he's an edge, if I'm not mistaken.
Where they put?
No, he was dominating. Who we got?
No, it was me.
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay.
This way.
Oh, I got you. Do you want to play it? Do you ready?
Well, I gotta get it downloaded. I gotta figure stuff out. Like it's a.
Do we need consent from the champion to play this?
I don't give a shit about him.
All right, he was nice enough to send it.
He was nice enough to send it, but I don't give a shit about him. Okay. It's going to take a couple minutes to upload. But
so how disappointed were you? I mean, because every Buckeye fan I heard going into this game was not worried about Miami at all. This should be a breeze. Who do we play next? We just can't wait to get revenge on Indiana. And then they punched you in the mouth. And the offense didn't have much to respond with other than Jeremiah Smith. I mean, he was kind of the lone guy there on offense.
Yeah, like Carnell Tate really didn't show up. The one that I think all right, as an Ohio State fan, Bri, I was watching it, and to be honest, after the pick six is when I went, okay, Miami came to play. Let's see how Ohio State responds.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't respond. And as soon as I saw they didn't respond, Bri, I'm like, Miami's going to win this game because Miami came to play and Ohio State didn't. And it's one of those things. It's one of those things that I kind of get upset sometimes with Ohio State. And especially, as fans too, because as fans, we sit there and go like, God, we should run over that team. Did you watch that playoff game beforehand? God, what a horrible game that was. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to run over them. Well, we also got to factor in that they've been pumping these kids' heads full of just nonsense of like, you're the best team. You're number 2. Nobody can touch you. You guys got the most talented roster. So they probably went into that game just going, well, we're just going to do our normal work and just walk right through this and go to the next round. And they found a Miami team with a tough defense and kind of punched them in the mouth. And the same thing that Indiana did. Indiana punched them in the mouth. It seems like with Ohio State, if you have a team that has some backbone to them and can punch them in the mouth, you're going to beat Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was an Ohio State fan, I would feel like the national media does you guys a disservice because the national media is the one who pumps you guys up. Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, Ohio State. No doubt they're better than last year's national championship team. This team is way more talented. This could be one of the best teams we've ever seen, kind of stuff we've been hearing going into these last few games. And yeah, who did they really beat this year other than Texas? I mean, Texas, go look at their first 6 games or something. Texas was pretty average. And then, Arch started to figure it out a little bit. But other than Texas, I mean, you could say Michigan, and Michigan's an average to above average team. They didn't beat anybody this year either, if you go back and look at their schedule. And I said it at the time. So Ohio State never really got tested by any of these they somehow. This is what kind of stinks about these mega conferences is you don't play the best teams in your conference every year. Like they avoided Indiana and Oregon, who not right now look like the 2 best teams in the conference. They avoided them throughout the regular season. Now they have Penn State, and we all thought at the beginning of the year Penn State was going to be great, and then injuries happened, and then they just completely crumbled down. So that turned out to not be much of a game. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State is a very good team. I'd even say they're still in the conversation for like a top 5 team. But we were led to believe going into that Indiana game and even a little bit going into the Miami game that this is the best team. This is a top 2, a top 3 team. These other teams would be lucky to even hang with them. And that's just not the case. I mean, you buy into the hype, you buy into the brand and the fact that they're defending champs, and they have all these highly regarded recruits going to the NFL, and sometimes that doesn't always translate to being a good team. I've never really bought into Julian Sayin being a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but the fact that he was that close to winning the Heisman just goes to show you how far the Heisman has really fallen, because I know he put up great numbers and he had a great completion percentage, but again, it's like, doing that against Rutgers and Maryland and Michigan State, and Michigan, he torched Michigan, but who knows what the heck was going through Michigan's head at the time. So once he started playing like some really good defense, like I would say Indiana, Ohio State, Miami, all those defenses, those are like top tier defenses. So once he started playing them, he started to struggle a little bit, and he started to hold on to the ball. And, against Miami, you can't be holding on to the ball because you're going to take a ton of sacks and, make a couple of mistakes. And sometimes that's all it takes when your offense is just sputtering like that.
Yeah. And like I said, I just, Ryan Day and his play calling, I don't like it.
Yeah, but Brian Hartline didn't do much against Indiana either.
No. And I get that. But at least with that game, though, we tried to run the ball. It felt like he did not want to run the ball at all against Miami and tried to do the flash and pass all the time. Like the second half, they came out and ran the ball, Bry, and got it down there. And then it was like, okay, we're not going to run anymore. We're going to try this, try to pass it again. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't remember, like, we have 3 running backs. I know they're not Judkins. I know they're not Henderson. I know they're not Carlos Hyde. Go down the list of Ohio State running backs. I know they're not, but you can't even trust them on a 4th and 1. And you're trying to do a quick pass. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But
I agree with you that. Well, I agree with you that they should have run the ball more. But at the same time, what would have been said if they lose, he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. What do we hear about the Michigan game? You ran the ball too much last year. You didn't throw to number 4 enough. And so now they throw to number 4 a bunch. And now, you're not running. So you need that balance between, especially when you're going against good defenses. You can't just be one-dimensional. And, Ohio State, to their credit, they look like they had a running game, but they've fallen in love with these wide receivers. And up until last year, it hasn't gotten them much other than bragging rights on the NFL draft night and fantasy football drafts.
Justice said Ryan Day is the John Cooper of this generation. Yeah.
Buckeye fans are really flip-flopping now. What would he have said 2 weeks ago before the Indiana game? He's the greatest back-to-back coach. Tressel never did it. Urban never did it. And now he loses 2 games, and now he's John Cooper.
God,
I'm telling you, it's funny. It's funny from my standpoint to watch Buckeye fans. Like, everybody was all in on Carnell Tate to the Browns, top 5 pick, lock it down. And then he has a subpar game. Now everyone's like, get Caleb Downs, draft Caleb Downs. We don't want Carnell Tate. It's like, it's just quick how quickly they flip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's everybody's fan base. I mean, how excited are you about the Kyle Whittingham coming to save the Michigan program for 2 years before he retires?
I heard he's only a couple years older than, I think he's 2 years older than Signetti. So
he's 70 some odd years old, man.
I'll bet you $20 he's not 70.
Oh, he's close to it.
He's 66 or 68, something like that. But I'm telling you, he's only 2 years old. He's only 2 years older than Signetti.
So he's 66 years old. So
there you go.
Is he going to coach till he's 70 or 98 like Saban?
Between you, me, and Kyle Whittingham, which 3 of us is going to win a race. He's in better shape than we are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, could you coach for another couple years? I don't think he's the long-term solution, but kind of like Penn State got lucky with Matt Campbell. I think Michigan got lucky with Winningham that he became available. Not to say that they're going to win a national title next year or anything, but he's a professional football coach, and that's what I didn't like about the Sherrone Moore hiring. He's never proven anything, and you're just going to hand him this Ferrari? No, you need somebody who's been there, done that, and Whittingham's done it. And what's funny is who's one of his best friends?
Oh yeah, Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. Yep, they were coaching together. He took over for Urban at Utah, so he's been there for 20 years.
He said Michigan trying to be like Ohio State and hire an Urban Meyer's DC.
It's funny how it all comes full circle.
And it's also amazing that somebody's holding on to a 20-year-old grudge. I can't hope that ref couldn't get that flag out of his pocket quick enough during the pass interference or the phantom pass interference call for the Ohio State 2002 national championship. But, it is what it is. It's in the past now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I mean, yeah, we can bitch and complain about it all we want, but the call was made. Whether it was the right call, you can debate that, but it goes down in the history books. So they got a little bit of revenge, though, but I doubt anybody that's associated with Miami program is still left from 23 years ago.
Well, what's really funny, did you see the video of Michael Irving?
I've seen a few of him on the sidelines.
What a piece of shit this guy is.
What did he do?
Do you not see the belt smack?
No, I don't think so. What's he smacking the belt on the ground?
No. He put an Ohio State hoodie on a water cooler and took his belt off like he was dad to them and started smacking the water cooler. Like he has been, hey, Michael Irving, where were you at about 15 years ago when Miami was fucking dog shit? Oh, wait, I know where you're at. You're in the booth talking a whole bunch of shit. Okay, now that they're relevant again and in the playoffs, I love seeing all the Miami guys come back out like they're part of the club.
Came out of the woodwork. Ray Lewis on the sidelines. I saw that.
Warren Sapp's there dabbing people. Oh, yeah, you guys just come out of the woodwork. I'm surprised Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wasn't there holding that water jug so he can smack shit out of it.
He's probably the richest out of any of them. And he never played a lick in the NFL.
No, but he did play a lot in college, though.
I guess so. What do you think? Are you interested? Do you have any interest at all in these games this week?
I do. I want to see Indiana, Oregon. I think that'll be because I mean that's the marquee matchup, and the other one I want to see, Bri. It's honestly this is kind of the piece of shit that I am, and the kind of way I think. I want to see Ole Miss win it all, just so Lane Kiffin looks like a piece of shit.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
Even though I don't want to, though, because you realize how much he's getting paid per game now. They're paying him every win is a $500,000 check going to Lane Kiffin.
Ridiculous. Yeah, he should give that back to the school or let the charity pick. He's got enough money.
Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because he offered to coach the team throughout the playoff. And Ole Miss said, no, go ahead. So Ole Miss is on the hook for the rest of his contract incentives because he offered to actually coach so every win that they've gotten so far in the playoffs is $500,000. And if they win the national championship, I think it's $1.5 million to Lane Kiffin for him not to coach.
Jeez, yeah. Like that guy needs more money. Yeah, good for them. That's what I would have said too. Yeah, you don't want to be here. We don't want you here.
I mean, are you excited to watch Oregon and Indiana?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the marquee matchup. You got the top two potential quarterbacks in the draft playing against each other. Their first matchup was pretty epic. I think Indiana ended up winning by 10. But, yeah, I expect it to be a fun game to watch. So I'm very interested in it, and I'm pulling for Indiana. Indiana and Ole Miss, like you said, I'm with you. Ole Miss just being thrown to the side of the road as Lane Kiffin goes and counts his millions of dollars in Baton Rouge. I think it would be fun for them to stick it to him. And I'm telling you, Indiana, this story is just unbelievable. Like, if I told you this was going to happen 3 years ago, you would have laughed in my face all day long.
Like he said on the podium, it's a movie. Seriously, it is a movie ready to be made. And the one thing I do love about the story behind Indiana is, like he said, when he walked into the like locker room in the facilities, he said it was like I was back in 1985. He said we had to update so much stuff. He goes, like my office, it felt like it was in the 70s. He goes, they were so stuck in the past and not the future that, and hey, more power to him. I mean, God, what a great coach. I mean, hey, Bri, would you want him to come to Cleveland?
I'm not an idiot. Of course I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what he's done, turning around one of the way we talk about, and I threw out Rutgers and Maryland earlier. The way we talk about them current day is how we talked about Indiana a couple years ago. Well, maybe before. I think Penix kind of started to turn it around a little, but no doubt. I mean, whatever they're doing with Signetti is just, and maybe it's the day and age we're in now, to where I'm not really up to date on how much money each one of these colleges is spending, but I know Texas Tech is spending a ton of money. I know Texas A&M is spending a ton of money, so there's no surprise that they had successful seasons. So maybe Indiana just has a ton of money and the right coach and the right quarterback, and that's what you need in today's day and age if you're not one of the blue bloods. So yeah, to see them finish it off, I think it would be great for college football.
All right, you ready to see this Phillips video?
All right, can't wait.
Oh my God, here we go. This is the Portage County Prostitutes on their win in the illegal hand to the face fantasy football league. Eric Phillips, which I am surprised that the Portage County Prostitutes made it this far. But Chris, you beat him before, you can beat him again. I need you to do it, buddy, because I don't want to give Eric the pride of holding that belt, especially the way he's been this year. So, all right, so let's get into have some fun. How?
Wait a minute. You didn't think I'd be there? I went 11-0 to start the season. I got arguably the best team ever drafted. Are you kidding me? Look at the results. I'ma come and get that belt. I want it so bad.
That is Big Boy Phillips.
Feel like I got to go get it and bring it into frame now. I got to enjoy these last few days with it.
Yeah, we're going to have to hand it over to him. So he gets to do the new wrinkle next year for the Illegal Hand to the Face Fantasy Football League.
All right.
Our first 2-time winner. So see what he has in store for us. But I know he's excited to get his hands on the belt. I asked him if he was going to come in like Macho Man Randy Savage. He said he might. But I figured the right before the new fantasy football season, we'll have him on, and he could showcase the belt and talk some shit to everybody else before we start the new season. All right, Bri.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to talk some Cleveland Browns?
Yes, sir.
Let me play the Cleveland headline sounder. All right, Bri, before we get into everything that's happened the past couple days, the Browns won both games against the Steelers and the Bengals. To finish out the season, Myles Garrett is now the career single season sack holder at 23. He got it with 5 minutes left. Bri, I didn't think he was going to get it.
I told my wife I didn't think he was either.
Bri, they did beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was I said it on a couple other shows, Brian. I think Pittsburgh was more concerned about Myles Garrett not getting the sack record than they were about winning that game.
There's no question. There's absolutely zero question. And I hate myself that I didn't bet because I said it beforehand. I said Aaron Rodgers' ego is way too big to let Myles Garrett get the sack on him. Plus the Pittsburgh angle of him passing TJ Watt, they just wouldn't let it happen. I didn't know they would go to that extreme to where they put up 6 points and lost the game and put their playoff consideration in serious doubt. But apparently that was more important to them at the time. It's quite sad, but I guess I'm not surprised that the Steelers organization would have this foolish pride, especially with Aaron Rodgers at the helm.
Well, and also, wide receivers that punch fans in the face during a fucking football game.
Yeah. The arrogance is just ridiculous. They thought that they could just have that crappy game plan and just win the game and not even really try an offense, even without Metcalf. And they got what they deserved. It just ticks me off that we hurt our draft position and they still got into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Well, the next up, Cincinnati Bengals. Brian, our defense won that game.
Defense won both games. Offense was terrible.
2 pick sixes a pick six and a fumble six during the Bengals game. I don't know, Brian. This year, and I'm not even. No matter what, we weren't going to get the first overall pick in the draft, correct?
Incorrect. Had we lost both those games, I believe we would have gotten the first overall pick. Now,
I thought, who's got the number 1 pick? It's Las Vegas, right?
The Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders. They ended up winning. They ended up winning this past Sunday.
But we beat the Raiders.
Yeah, but I believe it goes off of strength of schedule.
Oh.
Okay. But I contest that had the Raiders known that if they lost their final game, they would get the number 1 overall pick, they would have tanked. I mean, they were trying to tank regardless, but because they knew they locked it up because the Giants won earlier in the day. So they locked up the number 1 overall pick. So they were able to win the game against the Chiefs and still hang on to the number 1 pick. Had they had to lose that game, they would have lost that game. So I don't think there's any way we would have got the number 1 overall pick. But we could have gotten number 2 had we lost the last 2 games. But I don't know. Some people think that's loser mentality. If Dante Moore ends up being the number 2 pick and he ends up being a superstar, we're going to be kicking ourselves.
Well, I am very shocked that the Las Vegas Raiders would tank with Tom Brady as their GM and now spearheading their campaign for their head coach. I mean, Tom Brady, the golden boy, would never tank, Bry.
He's not playing for him.
No, he's a GM now.
Yeah, he's not I don't think he's a GM.
He's a GM now.
He has some front office, but I mean, honestly, it's smart. So what do the Browns get by winning their last 2 games?
They saved Andrew Berry's job.
Yeah, great. I think he was safe. I mean, and just the way the Browns did it, like if Shador came out and he threw for 400 yards and he was just on fire, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I can live with that. No, he looked terrible. He looked as bad as he's ever looked. And the defense clawed their way to 2 victories, and we still have the crappiest offense in the league. And we won't have a chance at a quarterback in this year's draft. So we're stuck with Deshaun and Shador going into next year. There's
Dylan. He's still here.
He's
cowering behind him.
I think I want to forget about Dylan. But yeah, if the new coach thinks that Dylan is a realistic option, even as a number 3 option, then so be it. But yeah, get used to Shador and Deshaun Watson being your quarterbacks next year because that's what's going to happen.
Well, as all Browns fans know, Kevin Stefanski did get let go at the end of the year. They decided to keep Andrew Berry on. And if anybody has not heard the press conferences of both Andrew Berry and owner Jimmy Haslam, I would actually please go listen to especially Jimmy Haslam's explanation of why Andrew Berry got to keep his fucking job and Kevin Stefanski didn't. Because I'll tell you what, you want to talk about something that just irks me the wrong way, because Brian, I truly believe both of them should have been fired. I think it ran its course. And if you're going to do this again next year, they both should have been here. Now all we're doing is letting Andrew Berry stay on the hot seat for one more year. And what's going to happen is he's going to fuck up again. They're going to lose. He's going to get fired. And we're going to be back in this situation again. So Jimmy Haslam's explanation for Andrew Berry sticking around was this year alone, just this year alone. Malik Collins, the trade for Tyson Campbell, the draft, and Bry, he brought up our fucking kicker. Our kicker. Not only did he extend Dustin Hopkins and then cut him, but we found our kicker now. So, he's safe because of our kicker. Bry, this is the most asinine thing I have ever fucking heard, because guess what? The coach can only cook with what ingredients he has. And the cupboard is fucking bare. And their expectations of this team this year was retarded. And I'll say it. They thought that this team was going to be better than 5 wins this year. Bry, did you think they were better than 5 wins this year?
Absolutely not. I think I picked them for 7, to be fair. But that's just because I thought, maybe Joe Flacco plays the whole year and they can win 7. No, I knew it was. I mean, look at our quarterback.
I know, but how does Haslam look at this, thinking that the talent on this team was better than 5 wins? How? He is absolutely oblivious of what's going on.
I think that's just, to be honest, a lot of the stuff you hear in press conferences is just coach speak. Nobody can speak their real mind. Nobody can say, did you see our wide receivers? Do you know Jerry Jeudy, how bad he is? Do you see the other wide receivers? We're playing with a rookie quarterback, a 3rd and a 5th rounder. What did you expect? Yeah, they can't say that stuff. We had Kenny freaking Pickett. You thought we were going to win 7 games? Of course not. No. So, but yeah, you had to get rid of Kevin Stefanski, because if you didn't, it's just going to be the exact. I know it. It's just going to be the same thing next year. Because we're in basically the same position. There's no quarterback you can draft that's going to come in and save your franchise. We don't have a ton of money to go out and sign a Sam Darnold that can come in and save our franchise. So you're stuck again. You're going to have a really good defense next year. Hopefully you get some playmakers on offense, but more than likely, it's just going to be a moderate improvement. And, before we get too far in, I just want to say that you brought up the kicker, and to be fair to him, Andre Schmidt, what a great story from blowing the kick in week 1 to the game-winning kick, and it was not a chip shot. What was it, a 49-yarder, 49-yarder? The guy in Baltimore missed a 44-yarder. So he's a rookie. He hit a game winner to win a game for a team that doesn't win many games, and he was lights out this year. He was everything we could have asked for. So kudos to him. He was awesome. But yeah, I mean, kickers, as we know from Dustin Hopkins, can be great one year and terrible the next year.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing that got me upset was the way that Jimmy talked about him. Like, he's going to be like the next Phil Dawson. He's going to be here. I'm like, watch this kid now with all this pressure, just go out and just suck the entire year next year. I'm like, man, Jimmy, don't you look like an idiot?
Right. That's another thing. The biggest thing for kickers is the pressure kicks. He had 0. I mean, yes, if you want to call the Bengals a pressure kick, then yes, he had 1 pressure kick. But other than that, you're kicking for a 3-4 win team. it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know you want to keep your job, but it's not like you're kicking third of the division on Sunday Night Football like the Baltimore guy. But yeah, so he really focused. So has him focused on the last year for Andrew Berry, and it was just what more do you expect? That's what he's going to do because that's what Andrew Berry did well. Was the last year. The time to fire Andrew Berry was 1 year ago when he was terrible. Everything he's done for the last year has been pretty good. I would agree with Jimmy Haslam. Everything. So if you weren't going to fire him last year, then you probably shouldn't fire him this year. But at the same time, he also talked about how close Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are and how they work so well together. So I viewed them as one unit. So if you get rid of one, you get rid of both. Because my fear now is that Andrew Berry is just going to hire another Kevin Stefanski. And we heard reports going into last week that the Browns were interested in Mike McDaniel from the Miami Dolphins. If he became available, that would be a guy that you'd be interested in. Do you know where McDaniel went to school?
Oh my God, where?
He played football at Yale. Okay. So that's why, and so that's the type of guy Andrew Berry's looking for. He's looking for another Ivy League guy, nerd, that can come in and hopefully beat Kevin Stefanski. And I know Stefanski had success, so I don't want to discount that, but it's just going to be more of the same. Andrew Berry's not going to. That's what was so head scratching when we were looking for a defensive coordinator a couple years back. Was we all thought we knew what Andrew Berry was looking for. And then somehow, some way, Jim Schwartz, our savior, comes in and they hire him. And who made that hire? I don't know. But he has been God sent. He has been the only bright spot for our franchise. And it's because we went with the football guy over the really smart Ivy League school guy. Will he do that again? I don't have any confidence he's going to do that again. He's going to look at at these teams in the playoffs now that have made the jumps with these young, really smart offensive coordinator guys, like the Liam Cohens with Jacksonville, like Ben Johnson with the Bears. They're going to look at these guys. Okay, we need to find ourselves our own Ben Johnson, our own Liam Cohen. The issue is those guys went into situations where Cohen had a former number one pick, supposedly quarterback of his generation, sitting there waiting for him. Same with Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams was talked about being an ultra elite prospect coming out of college. Okay, you have the talent to work with. Same with Vrabel going to the Patriots. And that's why, they had Drake May, the number 3 overall pick, and the quarterback of their franchise. You just had to figure some stuff out. But if there's somebody out there and we bring him in, don't expect anything to change unless you really think, if you truly believe that Shedeur Sanders is an elite quarterback prospect, then maybe that can happen. But I show you the last 2 games, especially the last game where he just looked terrible. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Get it out.
Yep. Need a drink.
There you go. Wash that thing down. So John Harbaugh got fired today, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Would you like John Harbaugh?
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's coming. Why would he want to come to this mess?
Well, Bry, you never. Hey, I would back up the Brinks. Lay out the red carpet.
And that's where it's another Deshaun Watson situation. He's going to say, no, thanks, Cleveland. You say, really? Look at all this money, guaranteed. Here you go.
Yep. Chris brought up Clint Kubiak.
That's the Stefanski clone. Yeah, that's the Stefanski clone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm more upset that they both didn't go than just Stefanski going. I think that's what's killing me right now, because if you look at the track record, like, they're both, like you said, they've been always lockstep together. They're thought partners. They're this, they're that. who's the one that actually went out and wanted Deshaun Watson that blew up? That's now becoming the worst trade in NFL history.
So much is made of that. I don't think enough is made of who wanted Dylan Gabriel. And I don't understand it's a third-round pick, but it was a terrible third-round pick. Like, why don't we ever talk about who drafted? Whose idea was that?
You didn't hear Andrew Berry's press conference, did you?
Not all of it, no. Did he take responsibility for it?
No. They brought up about the 4 quarterbacks coming into training camp. And why 4 quarterbacks? And he goes, well, most teams bring in 4 quarterbacks. No, Andrew Berry. They bring in 2. Hold on. Listen to me. They bring in 2 quarterbacks that are trying for the starting job, a camp arm, and possibly another backup quarterback. You had 4 fucking quarterbacks trying to go out for the starting job. It was an open competition with 4 fucking quarterbacks. And all of them was a 42, a Kenny Pickett, a Dylan Gabriel, a 5'4" Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick. What did you think was going to happen with that? And you're the one that organized that mess. You're the one that brought them all in. You started out with Kenny Pickett in the trade.
Yeah, they had no plan. I mean, that's what that tells you right there. They're just throwing a bunch of crap at the wall and hoping that something stuck.
And guess
what?
But
the problem is you can only play one quarterback at a time.
I know, and that's the GM is the one that has to have the plan set up for everybody. He's the one in charge of, like, these are the guys I brought in. These are the guys that should be playing. Not going, okay, well, why isn't he playing? Well, he's not ready. What do you mean he's not ready? He's a rookie. He's not ready. That's what the fight was over with Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. They wanted the rookies to start way too soon. Obviously, they were not ready to start the NFL.
We talked at the time. You're going to be drafting a quarterback in the first round of the 2026 draft. So you have to find out what you have in these rookies. And so
hold on. Are they
now they're not. No. At the time, at the start of the season, we thought there's going to be 4, maybe 5 really good quarterbacks in this draft. Turns out there might be 2, and you're not going to get either one of them. So the landscape has changed over the last 4 or 5 months. So yeah, they're screwed. Again, they're screwed. Again, going into this offseason, he's not going to have a plan. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to have a plan. We're going to hope that Shedeur Sanders makes a big jump from year 1 to year 2. We're going to hope that Deshaun Watson can get back to form with the Houston Texans. And yeah, nobody's going to want to get excited about it unless you really love Shedeur or you really love Deshaun. I'm probably higher than the average person on both those guys, but even I don't think either one of them is the answer at quarterback. I think in 365 days from today, we're going to be talking about how can we get a franchise quarterback again, even if these guys play, average, which at this point, I don't know if you want to call them average. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I still think there's potential left for Shedeur. Certainly, I still think there's potential with Deshaun, and I think he's, unfortunately, nobody's going to hear it, but I think he's right now, as we sit today, he's your most talented quarterback.
Brian, God, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. But the other thing is Andrew Berry's the one spearheading this coaching search.
Right.
So all these coach interviews, Shedeur is a guy that he picked. Deshaun Watson is a guy that he gave up everything to go get. He's going to try to find a guy that is going to be okay with having Shedeur and Deshaun Watson as a quarterback on this team. Because guess what, Bri? There's no other. They're going to come in. Coaches are going to come in and be like, hey, I don't want these guys. Well, you're not for us. Go away. All right, next coach is going to come in. Well, I don't want these guys. I don't think I can do anything with them. Well, you're not our coach. Go away. He's going to find a guy that wants Shedeur Sanders and or Deshaun Watson because, Brian, we're not getting another quarterback for, another year, 2?
Well, so what I'll tell you is I don't think it'll even come to that. I think guys are going to take the interviews knowing that they're sandbagged with Shador Sanders and Deshaun Watson.
Then
It's
who
just
would take
not.
that
It's not a
interview?
question. You're stuck, dude. What else
but
are you
who
gonna do? Give me other give. If you're a football guy, give me other options that are reasonable
Mhm.
for us to go into next year with, other than drafting a second or a third round quarterback and hoping that he turns into Tyler Shuck. Which, I mean, again, you're drafting and you're hoping. There's just nothing. McCorkle Jones, we can't get him. And Daniel Jones, we can't get him. Any quarterback that's like a Sam Darnold from last year, we can't get him. We're not going to. We can't afford him. So you're stuck. This is the situation. You have to eat a green one for a year, and then hopefully next year we can start to crawl out of it, and maybe we can get a quarterback in the draft. So that's what they're going to take the interview knowing already.
Yeah, but the thing is your owner already came out and said 8-23 or whatever is not acceptable, and we're going to be better than that. Do you expect him to be right now? Do you expect him to be better than that?
He's lying to you. He's lying to you because what can he say? 8-23 is just, hey, we're just going to have to deal with another 5-1 season next year. Everybody go out there and start buying up these tickets. You're basically copy and paste next year. We're going to have really good defense. Our offense is going to be trash. Go buy these tickets up. Yeah, what do you expect them to say?
I did love it when he got a little bit pissed off when they called him dysfunctional. The Browns organization. I loved it. I was like, oh, look at you get all fired up. You are dysfunctional. What the hell are you talking about? Look at this team. Look at this franchise. Like that, just the epitome of dysfunctional is sprinkled all over it.
Well, and that's when he started to talk about how close and how intertwined. And I didn't watch it, but I listened to the interview or the press conference, and he said like Kevin and Andrew were like this or something. Mm-hmm. And that, in my mind, I'm steaming. I'm like, if they're like this, then they're one unit. Get rid of both of them. Why are you keeping one around? You just made me more upset telling me that they're so close. Yeah, they share a mind. So you did not fix the problem. Well, you are just hoping that somebody else that's similar to Kevin Stefanski can fix this.
That free agent pickup of Malik Collins and finding a kicker, Brian.
It was great. It was great. It was. I don't want to diminish
that. That swung the pendulum all the way over for Andrew Berry keeping his job.
Yeah, and like I said, Andrew Berry, if you just grade him based off the last 365 days, I don't know, because you have to weight the quarterback position more than any other position. If you look at Malik Collins, I agree. That was a great pickup. Is that because Andrew Berry is a genius, or is that because Jim Schwartz found a great way to use Collins, or the fact that he's playing next to Mason Graham and Myles Garrett? Is that have something more to do with it? The trade that he made for Tyson Campbell, I agree. At the time, I thought was a smart trade. But did Jim Schwartz get the best out of him? I don't know. So he's had a good last year, but again, he has screwed up the quarterback position time and time again. He has screwed up the wide receiver position time and time again. He has screwed up the offensive line decisions time and time again. And those are the three biggest needs of this team. And you think magically he's just going to be able to figure it out this year. Maybe he will. It's still unclear. Do we have the 6th or the 7th pick?
6th.
Okay, so we have the 6th pick. So if we go wide receiver there's a couple good ones. You got Tate, you got this Tyson kid, you got the kid from, I think, Lemon from USC. So there's 3 pretty good receivers. So you take one of them, it's going to be hard to screw that up. I mean, they're not going to have a quarterback. So he might get lucky there again. You and I can make that pick again.
Andrew,
so in rounds,
hold my beer. We're going to trade down.
Yeah. Well, trade down and maybe get one of those guys at 10 or something like that. That's why this past year, like Mason Graham, that I'd said a couple weeks ago, that was an easy pick. You're picking a guy in the top 10, unless he's terrible and you're just a complete dummy, especially a defensive tackle. He's going to be pretty good. So, but I go back to I go back to what I said after the draft, that if he was the one who drafted Dylan Gabriel, I'm scared to death that this guy is leading our decision making for finding our next quarterback. He looked at everybody. We had an opportunity to draft Tyler Shuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we probably wouldn't be doing backflips or anything like that, but the dude's 6'5", he's 23, 24 years old. And he's actually would give us hope at least, and he seems to be a halfway decent player. But no, we're smarter than you. We're going to take a running back. I can't crap on the Schlesinger pick. That was a great pick. But, we're going to take a running back knowing we need a quarterback, and we're just going to wait for our guy, Dylan Gabriel, to fall to us somehow miraculously to the third round. We're so lucky to have the chance to draft Dylan Gabriel. All the starters in the NFL that we could have right now on our roster, and we wanted Dylan Gabriel. It just, he has to be held accountable for that.
No, but he's got to be accountable for drafting 2 quarterbacks in a draft. I don't give a shit if Shedeur Sanders was there at 5. Like, you have better opportunities to make an impact on this team than the quarterback. You already have Flacco and Kenny Pickett here. And I can understand drafting 1 quarterback. I can understand that. But then drafting 2, like this past draft, like it was, yes, his picks that he hit on, God, I'm glad he hit on them. That's awesome. But there's so many other gaping holes here that you could have found an offensive lineman, somebody to plug in the gap. I mean, we just might have watched, let's just be honest, we might have watched Joe Petonio's last snap as a Cleveland Brown.
Absolutely.
We did watch Wyatt Teller's last snap as a Cleveland Brown. So right there's 2 people in the offensive line gone.
Well, I would say I think Wyatt Teller is the only starter that we have at bringing back. I guess I'll take that back because I think DeJuan Jones is on a rookie contract for another couple years, so maybe you can still use him somewhere. But yeah, Conklin's gone. Unfortunately, Posick was most likely gone anyways. Now with his injury, he might take the whole year off of football. So I would argue that you need to bring Teller back just for some continuity. But I don't know whether they do or not. It sounds like he's probably pretty fed up. Maybe he's fed up with the organization. Maybe he was just fed up with Stefanski for what happened at the end of October. But I think you should try like hell to bring him back.
I don't think he'll want to come back, Bri.
He might not. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, at this point, I think the bridge is burnt, especially putting him on IR and having him sitting out the last games, even though, look at his press conferences. He was like, I don't know why I was switching back and forth with somebody. I just found out today, all this stuff. I just, all right, Brian, let's get into coaching search going on. Like we talked about Clint Kubiak. We talked about John Harbaugh. Is there anybody else that you would love to see get an interview for the Cleveland Browns, maybe take over the Cleveland Browns?
Unfortunately, like a lot of the top guys that I would think about would be defensive guys. And I really think you need an offensive guy. I mean, just because our defense is so good, and really, if you can convince Jim Schwartz to stick around, you just need an offensive guy and his offensive staff, and just leave the defense alone. But there's just I don't know many offensive names that people are really excited about. Defensively, you got Flores, you got Jesse Minter. I'm gonna be a fan of his, but you got Jim Schwartz. I mean, maybe you think about promoting him to head coach, but I think you just need almost a total, change, at least offensively. Yeah, that's the thing that you really need to focus on this offseason. So, that's why I think Andrew Berry is going to try to get the young, hot offensive guy, and you keep thinking or hearing that they might really think outside the box. And to be honest, that scares the hell out of me, because that, to me, that tells me a guy like Dan Orlovsky, I was thinking of today, like a guy from TV, or you've brought up the name Josh McCown. Like I don't know, like I don't think he has any NFL coaching experience. But if you want an outside the box guy, that's kind of what you're looking. You're looking at a guy from maybe the high school ranks, maybe a offensive coordinator in college, maybe an analyst on TV with no head coaching experience. So that kind of stuff scares the crap out of me. So I don't know. I'm hoping there's a guy like a Liam Cohen or a Ben Johnson out there. I don't know if there is, and if there is, I don't know why they would want to come to this situation where, we're still a year away, unless you think very highly of Shedeur Sanders, unless, you think you can fix Deshaun Watson, why would a guy want to come to this situation?
Well, the one name that keeps coming up, and a couple people brought it up in our chat, Neon Dion. A lot of people are wanting
Sure,
Deion Sanders.
That would be exciting. Yeah.
Right? It would be exciting. I would want no part of that fucking hire at all.
Well, he would still need to bring an offensive guy with him.
Okay.
Because he's not an offensive guy.
No, but the thing is, it's nothing against Deion Sanders. It seriously isn't. If Deion wants to come here and coach, that's completely fine. I would allow it. Then Shedeur cannot be part of this team. I don't want any of the babying or nepotism or anything of that nature with Deion and his son together here in Cleveland. Because if his son starts screwing up, be like, it's not Shedeur's fault. It's the offensive line. I don't need, you understand what I'm saying? I don't need the coddling.
Yeah.
I don't need the favoritism towards his son. I don't need any of that. That is why I want nothing to do with Deion Sanders here when Shedeur Sanders is here. Now, if Shedeur goes somewhere else, sure, bring in Deion. I would love every bit of it. Let's see what happens. But with Shedeur here, I want nothing to do with it, because I think he's going to play favorites with his son.
Oh, of course he will. There's no doubt about it. And so it would be a fun headline. It would be a fun off season. It would be a fun maybe first month. But what happens when Shedeur starts to struggle? Mm-hmm. And so, like, he's never going to sit down his son.
No,
so he would have to be told from up above that, hey, we have to make a change or whatever. So you would be stuck with Shedeur as your quarterback, good or bad, for at least 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe the entire tenure of Deion being your coach. So you would be, if you bring in Deion, you're committing to Shedeur being your quarterback for a few years. There's no other way about it. So, it would be exciting at first, but then after that, you would start thinking, all right, we're stuck with Shedeur. If he's really good, then great. That was a brilliant hire. But if he's really bad, then we're going to be really bad for many years, as long as he's here.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you is, Bride, do you think, after watching it, we haven't talked about Fernando Mendoza that much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, obviously he's going to go number one. He's going to be depending on, I guess, the game between Oregon. But he's the top quarterback in the class right now coming out. Do you think he is better than the quarterbacks we have now on the roster?
Oh, absolutely. There's a reason he's going to be number one. There's a reason the Raiders won't trade us number one for Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, there's no question.
Well, no, I'm just asking, like, I know the Raiders are going to take the pick, but would you trade the farm for Fernando Mendoza? I don't think you can, just based on how poor the Deshaun Watson trade has turned out. You can't make another all-in move again. Okay. But if you,
unless you can somehow get Signetti, and but at the same time, I don't think, like, by the time the draft comes around, Mendoza may be a Heisman Trophy winner, undefeated in college and a national champion. And we were talking about him like we were talking about Joe Burrow, to where 7 first-round picks might not get it done to move up. So I really don't think it's realistic to think we could trade up to number 1.
No, but I get that. But I'm just saying, if they did go all in with Fernando Mendoza and they actually traded up, and the other thing is, like you said, well, we can't do that because of, the Deshaun Watson. Oh, by the way, who was in charge of the Deshaun Watson thing? Oh, wait, it was Andrew Berry. But anyways, I just don't know. I like the way he plays, Bri. I don't know if I trust him enough at the number 1 position.
If we had number 1, I would take him without even thinking about it. I mean,
And
you
then-
wouldn't.
Hey, so hold on, and then you'd be done with Shador. You'd be done with Deshaun.
Oh yeah. It would make it so much cleaner. Mendoza's our guy. We don't have to worry about all this other noise. We can all be united and going forward with Fernando Mendoza as our franchise quarterback. Absolutely, so much cleaner.
Okay, now I got to ask another question. Do you think that they will draft a quarterback in the first round?
No, there's nobody worthy of doing it. That Ty Simpson was the third guy, and he's, I don't know if he has any eligibility left, but he's completely shot his first round grade over the last month.
Well, wait till the combine. Somebody will go in and tear it up.
No.
Like Marcus Russell.
I'd be surprised. I couldn't even give you a name on, and it's still unclear if Moore is going to come out, and there's a chance Moore tears it up over the next 2 games and he's the number 1 pick. I think he's number 1 on Mel Kiper's board. So I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that Mendoza is going to be number 1. I still think it can be figured out between the 2 of them. But after those 2, it's those if Moore comes out, those 2 are going 1-2, and it's going to the Raiders and the Jets. I'd be shocked if anybody else traded up to get him.
All right, Bri. Before we end the show, we're getting ready to. You take a drink of that beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. Who do you want to be the next head coach for the Cleveland Browns? Who does Big Bri want as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns in 2026?
I got to give you one name, and it's got to be realistic. I'm not going to give you because I would like Signetti. I'd take Signetti, but I really don't think
he's not leaving. He's not leaving.
Just like, let me say something else, and it's been a topic over the last year. Like, how could the Browns let Mike Vrabel leave the building?
Mike Vrabel wasn't going to fucking be here anyways.
No. You tell me Mike Vrabel could choose between this mess and the team that he played for with the number 3 overall pick, Drake May, who had tons of potential at the time. He could go do that, but he would stay in Cleveland. And no, there's no chance. No. We had a 0% chance of getting Mike Vrabel unless we paid him $100 million. Maybe he would consider it, but he still probably would go to. And it was the right choice. Look at the success he's having there. So the narrative that we chose Stefanski over Vrabel is a whole lot of hogwash. There's zero truth to it.
Or we let Vrabel walk out the door. You had your head coach here. You let him walk out the door. By the way, he wasn't a coach. He was a special assistant to the team.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're going to have to prepare ourselves because there's going to be a lot of reports about the Browns interviewing this candidate, interviewing that candidate. There's going to be a couple guys that the Browns will not interview that were like, are you stupid? Why are the Browns not interviewing this guy? It's probably because he told you, no, I don't want to come to Cleveland. I'm not going to take your interview and waste my time. But that's never going to come out. It's just going to be like the Browns never interviewed John Harbaugh. Well, John Harbaugh said no to the Browns. So that's why we never we wanted to interview him. We want to interview all the top candidates. There's just going to be guys that tell us no and that we never have a chance at. So
we called him. He just didn't pick up the fucking phone.
Yeah, he said thanks, but no thanks. And it was a 5-second conversation. So yeah. So don't don't be getting too upset if you don't hear us interviewing this guy or that guy. We're going to ask all the top candidates, and some of them are going to flat out turn us down.
All
So, who can we get that I want us to? I still think it would be so much fun, and I still think he can be a good coach. And John Gruden, and other than that, I like Flores a lot, but he's really going to. I found out today he runs like a 3-4 or a 3-3-5 or something like that, and we can't be doing that with Myles Garrett. So he's going to have to change up his defense, and again, he's a defensive guy, so we need an offensive guy because that's where our biggest need is. So, gosh, if I had to choose right now, I'd say an offensive guy. I told you at one point, I don't even know who it is. Like, whoever fixed the Indianapolis Colts offense with Daniel Jones and had them looking like the best offense in the league for the first 8 weeks. Give me that guy.
All right.
I just saw we got Todd Monken. Request interview for Todd Monken and Seahawks defensive coordinator Aiden something. Durden.
Didn't we already have Monken?
Yeah, we have Monken as a
Offensive coordinator.
offensive coordinator. Yeah, so now we're
So now we're interviewing for a head coach because wasn't a lot of Monken. It wasn't not enough Monken. Yeah, okay.
just the right amount of Monken.
I think, Bri, if you hold my feet to the fire right now, and that's if he wants to leave, and like you said, Brian Flores is at the top of my list, and he's all he has been, and the reason why I think he has been is the raw deal he got in Miami.
Sure.
I think that's that, but one that's kind of interesting me right now, and I don't know how well it'll work. What about Joe Brady from Buffalo?
Sure. Yeah, I can't remember if it's the same guy that was talked about as being like such. Was he with LSU and then did he go to Carolina?
Mm-hmm. Joe Brady was the one that got LSU the national championship with Joe Burrow.
Then he went to Carolina, I thought, and then yeah, I would listen to it. The whole Ken Dorsey experiment gets me very scared to hear that. Because like he's been a hot name for 5, 6, 7 years, and nobody's given him a head coaching position. So why is that? So that would make me a little afraid, but he could be great. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, everybody, let us know your thoughts in the comments at the end of our show. Brian, we're definitely done here for this evening. I think we have exhausted all of our talk on the Cleveland Browns and how horrible this franchise is going forward. And hopefully we can, maybe one day, Bri, we did actually get to talk about a couple playoffs here for the Cleveland Browns during our stint with the show. Maybe we could do it again sometime. But hey, like I said, everybody, I hope everybody had a great New Year. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. Bri, I hope Miss Maddie had a great Christmas. Did she?
Sure did. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got the kids some electric scooters. That might have been Dude, those things go like 20 miles an hour.
So are they the ones that have a seat that you sit on or you stand up on?
Stand up on them.
Oh, yeah. Have they been able to take them out up and down the street with the snow?
Yes. The great thing is Christmas Day, it was warm enough out that they got to ride.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So they were out playing with them all Christmas Day, and then we got the snow that came, and then they're like, can we go out and play with our? I'm like, I don't have snow tires on those things, boys. There's no way. Like, But
I'm sure they love them.
And we want to thank everybody in the Legal Ham to Face Fantasy Football League this year for joining us. We will be doing it again next year with the Portage County Prostitutes as the champion again, 2 times in a row. Do you remember where he drafted? Was he number 1?
No, I don't think so. So he had to break down his team. He had McCaffrey, and he had
And he had
Nakua.
Puka.
So I would guess he was probably mid-round, mid to late first round.
Because everybody was scared of McCaffrey.
Yeah, because he had the injury issues. So the top guys were like Robinson, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, Jefferson, Chase, and then there might have been a tight end because of the format. So I would guess he was picking, middle of the pack.
I think I was the one with the first tight end. I think I took Kelsey.
No, you had somebody. Did you have Bowers at one point or Kittle?
Oh, I had Kittle. I had to hear Kittle.
Yeah,
Kittle.
you probably took Kittle first. I think maybe Chris took Bowers.
Well, Chris
Kittle did well.
Yeah, he ended
Oh
up
yeah,
Kittle.
I got you.
All right, bud. Well, it was a great show. It was nice seeing your face. I hope you had a great New Year.
Always. I had a great New Year. I ended up going to the Cavs game with my brother and my nephew, but I'll shout them out next week.
I didn't get a.
You were sick.
I was, dude. I haven't been that sick in a while, dude. Like I seriously, like Tuesday, after I texted you, I was out for like 15 hours. Like I didn't.
Sometimes it's kind of nice.
Nothing. I was like,
sometimes it's kind of nice. Take it easy. Rest up.
Give us that like and subscribe on all of our socials at Ham Illegal, at Network 216. We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back next week on Head Coach Watch for the Cleveland Browns. All right, Brian. God bless them.
God bless you. God bless America.
All right. We are Legal Hand in the Face. We are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We are out. We will see you next week.